This is Little Golden Books, a children's book company. You might recognize some of their classic titles like The Little Engine That Could, The Monster at the End of This Book, and The Pokey Little Puppy, which is the single best-selling hardcover children's book of all time. And it's a cute book about 5 little puppies, including one pokey little puppy, who dig a hole under a fence to go on adventures, and they get in trouble for it. And pro tip, you should not feed a puppy chocolate custard because chocolate is poisonous to dogs. The book could use an update. Anyway, the reading age for Little Golden Books range from baby to 5 years old, which is why you might be surprised to see a Little Golden Book about Kamala Harris. I wish I was kidding. According to the description supplied by the publisher, help your little one dream big with a Little Golden Book biography about the first female vice president, Kamala Harris. The perfect introduction to nonfiction for preschoolers. So let's take a look inside because I'm really excited to read all about the fascinating life of Kamala Harris, albeit a dumbed down version for children. Kamala Devi Harris is the first Black person, first South Asian American, and first woman vice president of the United States. But only after a septuagenarian white man picked her, specifically because she was Black and a woman. But whatever, she earned it. Kamala's mom got a job in Canada, so the family moved there when Kamala was 12. It was hard to leave sunny California to go to a place where the winters are cold and snowy. Yeah, Canada sucks. Her family lived in an apartment complex that didn't allow kids to play on the lawn. Kamala and Maya held a protest, and the rule was changed. First of all, you may have noticed that Kamala and her sister Maya are standing on the lawn that they aren't supposed to be on, but whatever. It's totally okay to break the rules while protesting in Canada. Well, unless you're a trucker, of course. And that story of the lawn protest isn't quite as simple as the book makes it out to be. In Harris's book, The Truths We Hold, Kamala writes, "One day, Maya and I held a demonstration in front of our building, protesting the fact that kids weren't allowed to play soccer on the lawn. I'm happy to report that our demands were met." Now, there's a big difference between playing on the lawn and playing soccer on the lawn. Maybe the landlord didn't want soccer balls accidentally breaking windows, or maybe playing soccer or other sports would have ruined the grass. I don't know. Either way, I don't believe that this is a thing that actually happened in real life. You know, like the freedom story that she likes to tell.
Freedom!
Kamala's parents separated when she was young, and Kamala and her sister Maya were mostly raised by their mother, who taught them to be conscious and compassionate about the struggles of all people. I know we're just getting started here, but if you were a child and an adult insisted on reading this to you, you'd be bored out of your frickin' mind, right? Kamala returned to the United States for college. She went to Howard University, a historically Black university in Washington, D.C.
What's that, Daddy?
It's a scam. She joined a debate team and the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, where she organized service projects. She continued to participate in protests against injustice. The only protest that was mentioned in the book was the one at her apartment building in Canada, so that means that not being able to play on a lawn is an injustice. And that's a great lesson for children. If you don't like something, just bitch and complain about it until people change their minds. During her Senate career, Kamala defended the rights of immigrants and questioned witnesses. She also spoke on the floor of the Senate about the fact that no one is above the law, including the president, during the first impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. How are 2 to 5-year-old children expected to comprehend any of that, let alone most of what's in the book? I mean, there is a stark difference between the Little Golden Book about Kamala Harris and, say, the book about Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was one of our country's greatest presidents. From the time he was a little boy, Abe was a hard worker. He helped on his parents' farm, planting corn and pumpkins. The book starts off with Abraham Lincoln working on a farm, and most kids know what corn and pumpkins are. Just this one page of the book is more kid-friendly than anything in a Kamala Harris book. Here's another one. Abe moved to Springfield, Illinois to work with a lawyer friend. One of Abe's jobs was to keep track of the lawyer's papers. He kept some of the papers inside his tall hat. And that's real, but also very cute, right? Imagine reading this to your child that Lincoln kept important papers in his very tall hat. I mean, sure, you're gonna have to explain what a lawyer is, but if you're a parent reading to a child, you might be able to gloss that over. Which is something nearly impossible to do when it comes to passages in the Kamala book, which is just a boring laundry list of virtue signaling, with illustrations. Kamala was elected Attorney General of California, the highest law office in the state. During her time in that role, Kamala worked to protect California's homeowners, the environment, women's rights, and LGBTQ+ rights. She also helped make the police more accountable for their actions.
I don't like this book. Read the one about the puppy.
No, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna listen to me read this amazing book about Kamala Harris. I am not raising my child to be an intolerant bigot. But seriously, what 2 to 5-year-old child is going to sit still and pay attention to a story about an attorney general? Now, the Abraham Lincoln book, on the other hand, everyone in the country loved the Lincoln boys. They were sent a lot of presents, including a pony and 2 goats. The goats got loose once inside the White House and made a mess during a fancy party. And that's adorable, right? It's whimsical and fun. And before you ask, yes, the book does address slavery. At the time, white people were allowed in some states to own black slaves. The slaves were forced to work hard, and they did not get paid. They were not treated well. The slaves did not have any rights. And while I absolutely think that children should learn about the evils of slavery, I can't say that it's appropriate content for a 2 to 5-year-old child, but Little Golden Books thinks that you're never too young to learn about slavery, politics, or even death. Joe still had struggles in his life. His wife and their baby daughter died in a car accident. Sometimes he was sad, sometimes he was angry, but no matter how hard things were, Joe managed to get back up and keep going. Yep, they published a Little Golden Book about Joe Biden. And as you may have guessed, there's also one about Barack Obama, and there's even one about Donald Trump. I'm kidding, of course there isn't. And that could have been an actual entertaining children's book. Trump was in construction and built skyscrapers, and kids love that stuff. Kind of feels like a missed opportunity. Sad, really. But then again, I'm not a book publisher, and the Little Golden Books Company has been doing this for a long time, so they probably know their audience a little better than the top senior political analyst on YouTube, am I right? In January 2019, Kamala announced that she was running for President of the United States. She talked about issues that were important to her, including civil rights, anti-racism, women's rights, and getting health care for everyone in the United States. Like I was saying, perfect content for a child. Lots of people supported Kamala for president, but over time, it became clear that she would not win the nomination. She ended her campaign and encouraged people to vote for fellow Democrat Joe Biden.
That's the guy who poops his pants, right?
Yeah. It is funny, isn't it? But unfortunately, the rest of the book isn't that funny or entertaining to kids. And what the book seems to be teaching is that the most important thing in life is race and gender. In 2003, Kamala became the district attorney or top prosecutor in San Francisco. She was the first black woman and the first South Asian woman in California to be elected to this position. In 2016, Kamala was elected United States Senator for California, becoming the second black woman, the first from California, and the first South Asian American to be elected to the US Senate. Soon after, Kamala accepted Joe Biden's offer to be his vice presidential candidate. Once again, Kamala was the first African American and the first South Asian American to be named the vice presidential candidate for one of the 2 major political parties. She was also the 3rd woman. Now, compare all that nonsense with the Abe Lincoln book. Did you know that Abraham Lincoln was the tallest United States president and the first president with a beard? That's how it's supposed to be done, because again, these books are supposed to be for preschoolers. And to be fair, there is one thing that's kind of close to that in Kamala Harris's book. Kamala exercises every day and has a collection of her favorite sneakers, Converse Chuck Taylors in many colors. And instead of making the shoes colorful, they made them look like every other boring white sneaker ever. So, great job. Anyway, I'm not against preschoolers and kindergartners reading about the most special vice president ever. But don't expect them to comprehend most of what you're reading to them, or anything in the book at all. Anyway, that's it for now. Be sure that you're still subscribed to the channel, check out these videos that you may have missed, and as always, I hope to see you next time. If there is a next time.